In House of the Dragon Season 3, Criston Cole, one of the primary leaders of the Greens during the Dance of the Dragons, will meet his end when he faces Cregan Stark's Winterwolves and Rivermen. Sir Criston Cole, also known as the Kingmaker, is a knight of House Cole, Lord Commander of the Kingsguard and Hand of the King under Aemond II Targaryen. Criston is on the march towards Harrenhal, the biggest castle in Westeros, which is under Daemon's control and where Daemon has gathered a huge army of Rivermen for Queen Rhaenyra. As Aemond said himself, when the time is right, he will join Criston, and together they will take Harrenhal back from Daemon. The Greens have two armies marching into the Riverlands, one led by Criston and the other by Jason Lannister. While Lord Jason Lannister marches toward the God's Eye with a host of Westermen, Criston is also marching towards it with another 4,000 Greens, and in Season 3, Aemond will join them on Vhagar. Jason Lannister's forces will not be of much help to Criston as the Lannister army will be destroyed in a battle against Cregan Stark's Winterwolves, who will join forces with the Rivermen. There were supposed to be two battles in which the Lannisters fight, but Season 3 will combine two battles into one. The battle by the Lakeshore and the battle at the Red Fork, in which Lord Jason will be killed and his Lannister forces destroyed. The battle at the Red Fork is a battle at the crossing of the Red Fork in the Western Riverlands. The Westermen meet the outnumbered Rivermen at the crossing of the Red Fork. The Rivermen throw back 3 attempts by the Greens to cross the river, with Lord Jason Lannister being slain in the third attack by a squire Pate of Longleaf, who earns the nickname the Lion Slayer. Command of the Lannister host is assumed by Sir Adrian Tarbeck. Adrian and 100 knights rid themselves of their heavy armor, swim the Red Fork upstream of the fighting, and surprise Lord Tristan Vance's men from the back. The Rivermen's resistance collapses after Adrian slays Tristan, allowing the remaining Westermen to cross the Red Fork. The Lannister host continues east into the Riverlands, but they are eventually crushed in the battle by the Lakeshore by Cregan Stark's Winterwolves. 2,000 grizzled Stark greybeards, who wear old mail and ragged skins, ride shaggy northern horses and wield axes, maul, spiked maces, and ancient iron swords, arrive at the Twins in the Season 2 finale, where they meet the Freys. In the book, during this meeting, the Winterwolves leader gives a chilling line to the Freys stating we have come to die for the Dragon Queen. In Season 3, the Stark army will march with Forest Frey and Red Rob rivers to the God's Eye, where they join other Rivermen to oppose a host of Lannisters and Westermen. The Winterwolves will beg for the honor of leading the attack in the ensuing battle by the Lakeshore, charging 5 times at the Lannister spearmen. 2/3 of the Northmen will be killed or wounded in the fighting, which is a decisive victory for the Blacks. The battle by the Lakeshore, called the Fish Feed by its participants, is the bloodiest land battle of the entire war. When the Lannisters and the Westermen reach the western shore of the God's Eye, they discover that they are opposed by Cregan Stark with 2,000 Winterwolves, all of them mounted, Lord Forest Frey with 200 knights and 600 infantrymen, and Rob Rivers with 300 archers from Raventree Hall. Before we continue with this battle, it's important to mention that while this is happening, Harrenhal has already fallen to Criston Cole and Aemond. Early in Season 3, after defeating Sir Oswald Wode and Lord Darry and Roote by the shores of the God's Eye, Criston's host will find Harrenhal abandoned by Daemon when they finally arrive at the castle. Aemond sees it as a great victory, but is outraged upon learning that while he was flying to Harrenhal to challenge Daemon and destroy him, his dragons and his army, Daemon had flown away on Caraxes to aid Rhaenyra with the fall of King's Landing. This was exactly what Daemon had hoped for, to lure Aemond away from King's Landing, leaving only a skeleton defense force behind, enough that a smaller force from Dragonstone and Driftmark could quickly seize the capital using dragons and the Valyrian fleet. Combined with the betrayal of the City Watch, who remain loyal to Daemon, early in Season 3 the city will fall within a single day with little fighting. Meanwhile, Daemon's army at Harrenhal does not simply wait for Criston and Aemond to arrive, but abandons Harrenhal to attack the Lannister army in the west. They succeed in annihilating the entire Lannister host in the battle by the Lakeshore, although with heavy losses. The Lannisters take up a defensive position with their backs to the Lakeshore, sending ravens to nearby Harrenhal to seek assistance from Criston, but more importantly from Prince Aemond and his dragon Vhagar, but each one of the ravens carrying a message is shot down by arrows. Northmen and Rivermen decide to attack the Lannisters before their letters can reach Aemond and Vhagar. Cregan and the Winterwolves will lead the attack, their cavalry charging the Lannister spearmen but suffering heavy losses. Attacked by the Blacks from 3 sides, the Lannister soldiers are gradually forced back into the God's Eye Lake, and the battle is ultimately the bloodiest land battle of the entire war. The Lannisters' main army will be totally destroyed in the battle. With few forces left to defend their home territory, Dalton Greyjoy will opportunistically ally with Rhaenyra, so the Ironborn can plunder the coasts of the Westerlands, sacking Lannisport but failing to take Casterly Rock itself. Jason's widow, Lady Johanna Lannister, will close the gates of Casterly Rock, but will be unable to prevent the Ironborn from sacking Lannisport and raiding the coast. In response to the Blacks' victories, Criston will urge Aemond to retreat south and join the host of Greens led by Lord Ormond Hightower and Prince Daemon Targaryen. Aemond refuses, however, and decides to instead burn the Riverlands with Vhagar's Dragonflame, parting ways with Cole and leaving him vulnerable and unprotected from the sky. Criston will march south from Harrenhal with his remaining host of 3,600 Greens to join the Hightower host, traveling along the western shore of the God's Eye. Criston's enemies, the Riverlords, will practice scorched earth tactics, burning their own forests and villages to deny Criston and his army supplies. The Blacks will also use guerrilla warfare against the Greens, and with each passing day, more of Criston's host will desert or join the Blacks. On one occasion, Criston's army will come across a grisly display of feasting corpses, the bodies of men who had fallen at the battle by the Lakeshore. Later at the village of Crossed Elms, Criston's forces will be attacked by Blacks disguised as corpses, losing 12 men before realizing Black Strombo's ambush. While marching from the God's Eye to the Blackwater Rush, Criston's weekend host is met at a ridge by an army of thousands of soldiers loyal to Rhaenyra and outnumbered 2-1, composed of Cregan Stark's Winter Wolves and Rivermen, led by Sir Garbold Grey, Sir Pate of Longleaf, and Lord Roderick Dustin. Criston will hold a parley with the three leaders. Criston offers to surrender if they promise to spare the lives of his men, but he's refused. Criston will say, "If I strike my banners, do you promise us our lives?" Garbold will respond with, "I made my promise to the dead. I told them I would build a sept for them out of traitors' bones. I don't have near enough bones yet, so..." Criston then says, "If there is to be a battle here, many of your own will die as well." To which Roderick Dustin, leader of the Stark's Winter Wolves, says, "That's why we come. Winter is here. Time for us to go. No better way to die than sword in hand." Criston then finally says, "As you will it. We can begin here, the four of us. One of me against the three of you. Will that be enough to make a fight of it?" Pate responds with, "I'll want 3 more. I'll have no songs about how brave you died, Kingmaker. There's tens of thousands dead on your account." One of the leaders, Pate the Lion Slayer, denies Criston the fight and instead orders Robb Rivers and his archers to strike down Criston the Kingmaker with arrows. When Criston dies, the Winter Wolves will sound a charge of the Black's vanguard, which consists of Stark soldiers and the River Knights. The Greens quickly collapse. Hundreds of Criston's men are then killed by the Rivermen and Winter Wolves in the ensuing Butcher's Ball. Criston's head will then be brought on a spear to the first Battle of Tumbleton. House of the Dragon Season 3 will see Criston taking empty Harrenhal, parting ways with Aemond upon their disagreement, and then marching south in hopes of joining the Hightower host that is accompanied by Prince Daemon Targaryen and his dragon Tessarion. On his way there, however, at the very end of Season 3, Criston and his army will be ambushed by Stark's army joined by Rivermen, and Criston will die. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section down below. For free, you can now listen to the entire audiobook Fire and Blood, on which House of the Dragon is based and which covers the entire Targaryen history, including current and future events of House of the Dragon, for free with a notable trial using our link in the description. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next one.